Hi friends. So we're in this weird place in the calendar where it's cold in the morning, but then it's also like warm in the afternoon. But we need things that are hearty because we're working long, hard days. So I love the idea of stuffed cabbage, except for the fact that I don't have time for stuffed cabbage. So what I'm gonna do is deconstructed stuffed cabbage. So I've got one medium onion that is browning. I'm gonna add some turkey, ground turkey to that. Into the pan you go. Not the paper, don't cook the paper. I once made a meatloaf and just wasn't paying attention, and not all turkey comes with, you know, paper underneath it, and this one did. And I did not pay attention, I just dumped it in and off it went. So I've just got some turkey and an onion browning up in a little olive oil. I'm going to turn it down a little bit because it's on medium high and I don't want that. A little salt, a little pepper. How do you guys feel about cabbage? Do you eat it? Do you like coleslaw? I should check. I have a packet of coleslaw stuff. Cabbage is great because it lasts for a long time. It was one of those things that I bought a lot during kind of lockdown and when I was having groceries delivered every 2 weeks, because a cabbage lasts for a good amount of time, but it also can just hang out. So you don't actually have to cook it right away. So you've got that. Now, my original recipe doesn't call for any herbs, but I love these. They're Lebanese Zaatar, and I think it just adds a really nice, almost, I mean, I know it's Lebanese, but to me this is kind of, in my head this goes kind of in the Greek style. So I love this. So I'm going to put a tablespoon in. Turkey doesn't have a lot of flavor, so I want this to kind of be the base, bottom level of my turkey taste. Now this is right up Putin's alley. So I'm just going to let that spice wake up, get that turkey brown. I've got salt and pepper. I've got half a cup of water. I always put the recipe down below. Got some minced garlic. I've got a small head of cabbage just cut up. No need to fold and stuff and do all that. I don't have that in me tonight. I also have some ice cubes of beef broth. I had one of those bricks, you know, one of the boxes of beef broth, but I didn't use all of it and I didn't want to waste it. So I have a tray that I use for ice cubes. Sometimes it's orange juice, sometimes it's beef, sometimes it's vegetable broth, or even chicken broth. So I don't refreeze frozen. If the broth is already frozen and I thaw it out, I use it all. If it's a brick or one of the boxes and I don't use it all, then I freeze it into ice cubes. And then I do what I'm doing tonight, which is just popping in a couple extra. This recipe calls for water, and I am going to substitute a little bit of the water for the ice cubes. So I'm actually going to take 1/4 of a cup of water and add my 4 beef broth ice cubes. And that will be that. Just going to give it a little extra punch. This is a really half an hour kind of, it's probably 10 minutes prep, 20 minutes boiling. Okay, the turkey is pretty much done. So I'm going to add in garlic. In it goes. That's that. Let that warm up. You never want to burn garlic because once you burn it, it's bad and you can't go back. So that's good. Oh, it smells so good in here. Okay, I'm not trying to caramelize the onions, I just want to get them soft. So I've got a can of diced tomatoes. This is 28 ounces. Diced ripe vine tomatoes in juice, so that's great. And then I also have a small can of tomato paste. This is gonna make it taste like I've been cooking all day, which you and I both know I have not. Today was an early morning, writing, reading, all of that. So now when you get this tomato paste in here, I'm not going to get all of it out, but what I will do is pour the water in here, give it a good turnaround, get some of that paste out of here using the water. Then I'll pour the water into the big can, get all of those pieces in, and then clean this little baby can again with Practically Clean. Excellent. Get that mixed around in there. Excellent. So that's in. I'm telling you, this is so easy. If you don't have, so you don't have to use the spices. You don't have to have the Zaatar, but you could use Italian spices. You could use oregano. This could be a really oregano forward dish. I'm gonna put the 4 beef ice cubes in now. Get those guys in there. Get the heat turned up a little bit. And this is where the cabbage comes in. So just gonna let this get mixed up, and then I'm dumping in the cabbage. And you just want to use your spoon. I mean, there's no rhyme or reason to the way that you're cutting up the cabbage. It just needs to be in chunks. You could leave it in big sheets if you wanted to. What I'm doing is just getting it in there. The cabbage is gonna let go a ton of liquid as well, and that's gonna add to this. It's not gonna be, it shouldn't be wildly soupy, but it is gonna kind of wilt the cabbage down. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna let this cook for about 20 minutes, bring it up, get it going, let it be kind of a boil. Now, if you had peppers and you wanted to add those in, go for it. You know, cooking should be a little bit more like jazz and a little less like Mozart, right? You're gonna know what you want to put in it, but don't feel like you're totally restricted. Just play with it. Decide what you like as a base and then go for it. So we're gonna let this, I can hear it totally bubbling on the bottom. Breaking up the cabbage is what I'm doing right now. And then I'm gonna let that cook. I'll let you see it when it's done. Okay, what do you think? Let's see what we got. So, 20 minutes later, it was completely boiling. I had to really scrub it on the bottom so that it did not stick or burn. But I then turned it down to low, high end of low, and cabbage is mostly soft. It'll get softer tomorrow, it'll be better, but for now, it's ready to be dinner. Unstuffed stuffed cabbage. What do you think? I'm telling you, yummy. I definitely am glad I put the Zaatar in. And this is, I mean, the only thing it's got in here is 2 tablespoons of olive oil that I started with. I would also grate up a carrot and put it in here. I just didn't have the wherewithal to do that tonight. But that would be something else you could add to. If you put some bacon in here and added some mushrooms, you'd have Hungarian bigos or Polish bigos. But right now it's perfectly unstuffed cabbage. Stuffed cabbage. Bon appetit. Love from New Jersey, friends.